On this episode of Gun Talk Hunt, I'm coming to you from Kodiak, Alaska, aboard the casino. Yep, we're on a transporter hunt for Alaskan black-tailed deer on Kodiak Island. Ooh, things are about to get rough. This episode is brought to you by SIG SAUER. They make everything.
All right, welcome in, Gun Talk Hunters. I'm here. I'm going to let you each introduce yourselves because I don't even remember your name.
You don't even know how to pronounce my last name.
Heggenstaller.
Good job.
Come on, man.
Good job.
I've known you long enough to know this. All right. So on my right, your left as you're listening through the radio, is Adam Heggenstaller with Game and Fish. Gabe Linegar is to my left, your right. Alaska Ocean Pros, you're our transporter. And then we've got on the very end, we've got Mike Herne from Free Range American. Is that right?
Free Range American.
Free Range American. All right. Okay. First of all, what is Free Range American? Because there's a lot of people who don't know that.
That is a fact. Free Range American is Black Rifle Coffee's publication for all things hunting, fishing, outdoor adventure gear.
How long ago was that started?
20. That's a good question.
That's a good question.
A couple years. It's starting to take off this year.
Well, that's what, because I've seen more and more, and our good buddy Michael Shea, he's kind of running that program right now.
He is.
And you actually got to take his place on this hunt.
I did get to take his place on this hunt.
It's got to be nice.
I'm not going to complain. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk transport hunt first. Let's just get that out. Like, what does it entail? How can people access this? So, Gabe, we're going to let you kind of take that because you're the professional here.
Gotcha. Well, transporter is basically just somebody that gets people to a designated hunting area, and like planes, boats, whatever the means is. But boats are a little bit different because we can actually assist in cooking. You sleep on the boats, but we do not aid you in your hunt. So we are not allowed to aid in the hunt or game processing, any of that stuff. We just make your trip comfortable and get you to the field.
Well, and I think that's one thing that I think we can all agree. We've been comfortable here. There's not been a meal that's sucked.
Maybe
Except
the
for
tartar sauce. Could have used a little improvement, but
But it's homemade tartar sauce on a boat.
That's right, on a boat.
What would you change? Come on, man.
I don't know. I might want to put a little sugar and vinegar in that mix if it were mine. But hey, the tartar sauce is just a topping. The cool thing was that we were eating fresh caught halibut.
And that's from Mike.
From Mike.
Yeah. Yep. How many lines did we drop? We dropped 2 lines maybe.
Yeah.
And he dropped it in the first, how long?
5-10 minutes.
How was it? Because it was 60 pounds or so?
That's what the log says, 60 pounds.
Oh, there we go. That's
a big fish story. You can tell who the transporter is.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
Captain's log said 60 pounds. I think it was closer to 80, but...
Could have been 80.
But was it 80 like dragging it up?
Yeah, it was 80
'Cause
dragging
we're fishing,
it up.
What,
I did probably 300
feet?
deadlifts to get that thing on the boat.
Dude,
It was a CrossFit workout.
You sitting there, I just know I was doing arms today.
It wasn't arms, it was all back. This whole trip's been all back.
No, but I thought that was pretty amazing though. On the way here, on the way to the hunting grounds, we stop for like 20 minutes and catch a fish that's going to feed us for the rest of the week. That's pretty awesome.
For the rest of the week. And that's like breakfast and dinner. Breakfast, dinner have been. Although I will say, the eggs this morning could have used a little bit of halibut.
A little halibut in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because that's how they were. That's how you cooked them yesterday. So it was like eggs.
Trying to mix it up a little
halibut.
bit.
I know, but
It was like a breakfast casserole,
so good.
but not a
You
casserole.
don't call it a casserole?
It's not a casserole.
Now you should have thrown.
Fish and eggs, but
Well, I think fish and eggs, like fried fish and eggs.
you can think what you want, but it's not a casserole.
It's not whatever it is. Don't call it a
And we
casserole.
don't put Miracle Whip in our tartar sauce.
It was dang good, whatever you want to call it. It was dang good.
But our main mission coming out here is blacktail, and you can see what we have laid out before us, we have succeeded, and we are in. This is into day 2. This is into day 2, and I don't know, what we got here, but it's plenty. You guys had the hardest hunt, I would say.
I don't know if we had the hardest hunt. We definitely had the hardest pack out.
Pack out. I don't know. I would say the hardest hunt because of what you did, because they messaged you on their inReach, right?
Yes, they messaged us to let them know that they were
en route to Caribou or something like that. Like there was a message sent that was like
just checking in, basically.
Yeah, just checking in, saying, okay, we see animals, and it's hard not to see animals out here because they're everywhere. We were just glassing a grizzly, just a little while ago. I guess brown bear, right? Just right at that.
Kodiak.
Yeah, Kodiak brown bear.
Coastal brown bear.
Yeah, but they're everywhere. But so you guys located those pretty. I guess it was what 10:30 on the first day or something like that.
Well, it was funny because I looked at Adam. We got out every time we'd walk 100 yards, we'd see new country further up the valley, and I'd stop and glass. Like, oh, might as well stop and glass.
Yeah.
And then I looked at Adam. I'm like, I'm just waiting for the time where I look up this valley, and it's undeniable that there's a gang of caribou up.
Yeah.
And probably 30 minutes later, we got up on the hill, and I was like, caribou. Yep, that's caribou.
Yep.
Like,
And it was a wad of them.
It was a
Like,
lot
you
of
guys did not get into groups of 8, 10. It was
No, there
a
were
gang.
probably 30, 40 animals in there,
Mhm.
but they were a mile away. I was impressed with the naked eye. You're like, there's caribou down there. Like, oh.
Dude, he's a professional.
I know, but I'm still,
He's already spent like a month in the Colorado mountains. Like,
I gotta say,
he's already been.
my
way
body's gonna love me after this is over. I don't even know if
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
hunt
to
anything
the-
else this year.
You're gonna go to the day spa.
I'm gonna do
Sit
something.
around. We
I'm
got
gonna do
cucumbers on
something.
the ice.
Cucumbers on the eye.
the transporter does not provide that service, or do
Boy, I
they?
thought that was-
Easy.
I thought I saw cucumbers in
I scheduled a massage with Gabe for tonight, so I'm good.
I didn't know we. Where's the log for that? Where's the log? Where's the signage?
Yeah.
Because I need it. I mean, but you guys, I would venture to say, your pack coming in. Well, before we get to that, before we get to the pack out, let's so you see these caribou, and you decide to take off. They're a mile, but they're a mile through tussocks. They're a mile through thick country.
Oh yeah.
It's not easy walking. It's not like what we flatlanders think of, like, okay, there they are. We'll just walk a mile. We'll be there in 15, 20 minutes.
No, I mean, shoot. When did we spot those? It was
Pretty
11
early.
o'clock-ish,
I
I
was thinking around
think.
10:30.
Maybe 10:30,
Yeah.
something like that. We were 2/3 of the way, 3/4 of the way up a
I
hill,
can tell you.
and they
He's
were.
got it right there.
What time was it? You got it?
I'll
got
find it. Keep
He'll
going.
find
Yeah, he'll find it. Anyway, we spot him. We're on the side of this mountain, call it a mountain, 1,000-foot hill or so.
But for a guy that lives at below sea level, that's a mountain. Ask
For
my
you,
cameraman,
yeah.
Don.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's steep. They're steep. That's the thing. They're not real high, but they go like
They go
straight up.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're up, 3/4 away up to the top, and we can see those caribou all the way to the back on the flat. And I'm like, well, let's just side hill. I think we can side hill around and maybe get behind the hill and then go at them that way. We get about halfway to them. Like I said, they were like a mile away.
Yeah.
We get about halfway to them, and Mike and I start planning out the route, and we realize, I don't know. Gauging by the wind and the terrain below, it's kind of rolling, and there's some thick alder patches. We can probably make a better approach at these caribou from the flat. So that's what we decided to do.
Yeah.
Side hill out about half a mile, drop down onto the flat.
Oh. Well, I saw you guys before you shot, because I had just shot a blacktail. And so I'm sitting there going down, and before I went down to process the blacktail, I'm looking across. I could see you guys set up, but that was when you guys were like 400 yards away.
Yeah, I mean, we made what, 3 stalks on those caribou before we
Really?
actually got close enough.
So why go closer? 'Cause
Why not, man?
Well, Gabe told us that these were the hardest critters to hunt out here. said-
Super wary.
Yeah, like they see you once
Yes,
and they
it's
go.
a reindeer. You got to be very careful. Man. It
Yeah.
sleeps easily.
Well, the reason we had to go closer was because I was calling you on the radio asking for the dope for that rifle.
What's my dope? I was like, okay. But the problem was I was on the other side of the mountain, and you guys, and so we couldn't communicate. So Gabe was having to like say he'd have to answer you with what I said. So I'd be like, all right, your dope out to 300 is 3. And Gabe had to go in and go, okay, all right, KJ says your dope is 3.
He was the relay station.
Yeah, he was the relay
exactly.
station. And but no, and I didn't hear the shot, but my cameraman Don was like, he was sitting there looking at him and glassing at him, and he goes, "Oh, they're running now. I bet they shot one."
Yeah, we shot one. But tell them a story.
Yeah.
Mike.
Well, we crept in and got to within 100, but we were in some semi-tall for me because I'm only 5'5". We were in some tall albies,
Yeah.
so I jerry-rigged my trekking poles and made shooting sticks out of them. We got set up. Adam was set up, and he's like, "Well, if you got a shot, take it."
Yeah.
I couldn't see shit, so
Really?
right about that time, I got a shot on what I thought was a decent one. I don't know what's big for up here or not.
It's pretty huge.
For a cow.
Yeah, and I thought it was
That's
a bull.
big cow.
Yeah.
It was dark. She was dark.
The Franke Sporting 2. I don't know if you know much about this gun, but it is ripe with innovation and it's ideal. You know, my brother, he called me and he said, you know, my son needs a new gun. The gun he's got for trap is just not working. It's an old semi-auto and he's not very accurate. He wants to get better. What gun would you choose for your son? Well, I immediately pointed him to Franke Sporting 2. It's the Franke Infinity Sporting 2. Why did I direct him that way? Because it's slim, ergonomic, it points well for me, and I really thought that a kid in the 16-year-old range and up would really enjoy shooting this gun. It's got a Schnabel 4-end, A-grade walnut stock. It's a Prince of Wales stock, which I absolutely love, but it's got steel receiver construction, vented barrels, a tang-mounted safety, all the features that you look for in a great trap gun, a great shooting sports gun. He'll be able to take it to the field. He'll be able to be range ready. You know what? The kid's already shooting better. I went ahead and got him it. I pointed him in the right direction. My brother bought it immediately. So he's got a lot of trust in me. But no, he got that gun, loves it. And you know what? More power to him, because the Franke Infinity Sporting 2 is the way to go if you're looking to get in the trap and shooting sports game.
Gabe, I want to kind of jump over to you and talk about like preparedness and how to get that way, how to prepare for this, because I really do feel out of all of us, Mike's the only one that's really super prepared.
I think you guys are pretty good. I mean, you really, I don't think, can prepare because you don't normally know. You know, I mean, you didn't know what this was going to be like.
No.
I'm sure you assumed. To be prepared, you just got to be in shape. You got to do some kind of preparation physically to be ready.
Well, it's just, I don't know. It was much different than what I prepared for.
It's a physical hunt, that's for sure. I don't think you can prepare where we come from. I don't think you can prepare for walking over tussock grass.
You can, but like you're at least in a better spot. You have hills.
Yeah.
You know, you got hills, you got mountains, so you're a different animal.
You're gonna be packing 60 to 80 pounds, you know, so you got to figure, you got to be able to do that,
and that
for at least a mile.
But that's the normal mile in like Louisiana is not a normal mile here.
No.
Just do
That's
the
like
best you can.
it's like a Vegas mile.
And this mile, the mile here is not even like, I've been elk hunting all September, and the mile here is like, climbing over blowdowns one thing, but this is easier and harder at the same freaking time because that tall grass, tussock, everything's catch your feet, everything's wet.
What I get is, I mean, you'll sit there and you'll hit a tussock, and then the grass is laid over, and I've already rolled my ankle like 3 or 4 times. you'll sink to the bottom because you don't see that there's a little creek running through there. Like,
Yeah.
that's one of the hardest things for me to get used to. It's just the unevenness and the undulation of the terrain.
On this early season blacktail hunting, is basically just get up high, because up high it's easier walking.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be down in those lows because no matter how in shape you are, they will break you down.
They do break
So
you.
get up high, stay high, choose your animals wisely because it can be a nightmare for you.
That's what you guys. That's what you guys learned.
Yeah.
Choose your animals wisely. So
No, we
So you
chose. We chose wisely. We knew what we were doing. We knew
but
exactly what we were
after
doing.
after you pulled the trigger, you were second guessing what you did.
We weren't second guessing. We were just we acknowledged that we just screwed ourselves.
Yeah.
I
We
was
were-
second guessing for you.
We realized that it was a brilliant idea to kill 2 caribou
Yeah.
in one day with like 4 hours of light left to get them back to the beach.
4 hours of light left. So that's a great like heed of warning. Is I think that's a good idea. It's just like choose your animals and your location wisely because time management out here is key.
Oh yeah.
I mean that's
Very
one thing
key.
that that's one thing that Don and I learned 100%. Like time management. I mean you got to know your limitations. You got to know how quickly you can get stuff done and how long it's going to take you to walk out. Because
Yeah, you'll find out. As I found out yesterday. What were we? 2 miles from the beach?
2.25 miles is what I GPS
Yeah.
for your in-range.
no kid.
2.25. All right. I know
And
that it takes me 3.5 hours to walk 2.25 miles with a
Which we
load of
figured
meat on
out
my back.
was
Oh, what did we figure out? Well, it's less than a mile an hour.
Less than a
Less
mile
than
an
1 mile per hour with a pack load of caribou meat and a head on my back.
Hey, that was a brutal hike out. Like when you guys showed up, the relief on your faces was.
No.
I mean,
When I hit the beach, I was ready to get that backpack off. I've
you're
had
used to it.
I've had one pack out that sucked worse than that, and that was last elk season. But that was a lot of weight.
Oh, that took it for me. That was my worst pack out yesterday, and I didn't pack out because you were probably sitting around 120, and I'd probably say yours was close to like 100 or more.
Probably close. It had to be.
Yeah.
I ditched some stuff out of my pack this morning.
Well, you even ditched these guys.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm out of here. You
Right.
guys are too slow.
He's like a mountain goat.
When I
You
get
just
when
go.
I get
Yeah.
weight on my back, well, it's twofold, right? You get weight on your back. The more breaks I take, the less I want to move. Like when I get weight on my back, I get it where I got to get it to, and then I get it off.
Yeah.
The faster I get there, the faster I can get the monkey off my back, which is
That's a fair
that's my
point. Like, just
mentality.
get it done.
yes,
Well, and you're in the military,
yeah,
currently serving active duty, and that's like just get the mission done.
yeah.
Like the pack
The
goes
mission
on,
is get the
go.
weight off my back. Like the less time, the better.
Yeah, yeah. I see. I see that. It's just tough to not like take those breaks, especially when you just fall down.
Well, those are the breaks that I took. Like I'd fall down and tip over and be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna lay here.
Here's
for a
where I
minute.
live.
I'm gonna lay
Here's
here
where
for
I
a
live.
minute. Hoping to see a helicopter fly over and hook it
Come
on
pick
my
you up.
belt. Yeah.
Drag me up. But yeah, what gear has stood out to you guys early on in the hunt? We were early in the hunt, and we've had gear starting to go down.
Yeah.
Is my boots, like I was really excited about these boots. Like I've been breaking them in for a while. Now the sheep feet are awesome. Like highly recommend them. But the crispy altitude GTXs, I jumped off in the water this morning, got a little wet, and I was a little bit disappointed. And that's one of those pieces of gear that you cannot have fail out here.
No. Now, there's a lot of gear that you can't have fail out here. Number one, probably rain gear.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's gonna rain.
Yeah.
It's gonna rain half the time. We got lucky today.
We've gotten
I mean, today was beautiful.
Well, 2 days in a row for Don and I because we didn't have rain today. We didn't have rain on our hike out last night. You guys were soaking wet.
Oh
last
yeah.
night.
I was soaking wet from the inside and from the outside.
Yeah.
You know, like sweat and packing that thing out. And plus, when I took a break, I would just roll around in that wet grass and be like, oh, this is so nice.
You got too
Not to have.
comfortable. Dude,
Yeah.
you got too comfortable. But
No,
You're
rain
back.
gear. Rain gear. Key.
Rain gear. Yeah. What rain gear you're wearing?
QU. Yeah. So far, so good. I mean,
I got the Sitka Cloudburst and the Sitka Dew Point, which is a little bit. I was a little bit worried about how it would hold up because the Dew Point's definitely a lighter rain gear. It's for quick squalls and not meant to be hunted hard in, but the Cloudburst has been holding up. I haven't really rocked the Dew Point yet because the Cloudburst held up. But definitely bring 2 pairs of rain gear, I would say, because if one does fail or soak through, you could throw another one on.
Yeah.
And them boots.
For sure.
Boots.
What do you think?
You gotta bring at least 2 sets. Yeah. 100%.
2 good sets.
2 good sets, yeah.
So what do you normally rock? I mean, or what would you recommend for someone coming up here, like that may not want to spend like $400 for a jacket?
I would say that Cloudburst that he's talking about is pretty economical.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if you can count on it all the time, but if it's new and if you got 2 sets of it, I think you're gonna be fine.
Yeah. But one thing that I've noticed on the like to kind of brag about Alaska Ocean Pros is we've had ample opportunity and ample like amenities to dry our stuff out.
oh yeah.
And I think that's one of the key things. If you're looking and doing a hunt like this, make sure they have those opportunities because your stuff's going to get wet and exposure to moisture at a constant rate, like it, no matter what you've got, like it's likely to bleed through.
Yeah.
Like and just getting in here, being able to throw your stuff on a boot dryer, being able to stuff in vents,
And
Cabins
we're
are
on a boat,
warm.
You know, you're on a boat, you're in the water naturally anyway, so you got to prepare for that aspect of it. No matter who you go with around Kodiak, it's typically by boat if you're on one of these transport hunts. And depending on how their setup is, you're probably getting out of a raft, which you're gonna get wet.
You're gonna get wet because you're gonna have to jump in, jump out, and transfer gear. We were transferring all these critters in front of us in packs, and the last thing we want to do is like drag a pack, through water for 20 yards because we've already done that.
Yeah.
And it's been nice. I mean, it's been nice having Captain Greg and Gabe helping us out and getting all that stuff off because we're toast.
Yeah,
By the end of the day.
Gabe carried me. He didn't even want to get.
Okay.
He didn't even let me get my feet wet. He carried me from the beach to the boat.
All right.
Like piggyback style.
Like 6'4".
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that my feet weren't dragging, but I mean, he carried me over to the boat.
Dinner's getting hot. You got to get your butt on here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. Hot dinners make a big difference. How did you get a call?
I did.
Here.
That was the time.
Oh, I was like, how in the world? Because you have no cell service out here. Zero.
No, there's no connectivity out here, which is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big thing, man. Like not having connectivity. Like I love it. But
Back to your
you have to expect that.
Yeah, back to your point about gear though. I mean, you're out here in the middle of nowhere, so you better bring gear that that you've used, tested, proven is going to hold up and work. Because if it breaks out here, you're going to be sitting off to the side like I was a couple minutes ago with a roll of duct tape trying to piece it back together.
Yeah, and there's little things that we've all kind of brought that have come in handy for everyone. If you're going, what I would say is consolidate gear. Like if you're coming in with a big group and we don't have to double up on stuff. I know Mike has had Luco tape. Like he's got 3 rolls of it. I've got a roll of it. So like what I would suggest is, man, pare some of that stuff down because my pack's coming in was like 84 pounds. The gun case was like 55 pounds, and my pack was like 40 pounds. Like I think those can be pared down. For sure. So quick. It does
add up quick for space. But other gear that I would say that was super useful is an inReach. If you have an inReach, pay for the subscription, go online, keep that thing up and running because it's been super useful to have to talk to him and for safety. Taller boots. Like I am so
you're rocking.
I am so glad that
Zamberlins.
I got the Zamberlin. They're the Guide 980s, and they're taller. My feet have been dry the entire since I put those boots on. Other than that first day, I wore the other boots that I had, and
How's
my
that
feet
do
have been
for like
dry.
ankle support?
Really good
Like-
for ankle support. A little bit uncomfortable, but a little bit uncomfortable on the downhills.
Yeah.
Just because I got them laced up so tight, like
Yeah.
there's pressure on the top of my foot. But
Yeah.
I'd rather have a little bit of pressure on top of my foot than have wet feet.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
um,
100%.
with no blisters yet, so that's. But
Well, and that's one thing that I've really appreciated is that Luco tape.
yeah,
Like
Luca
that's
tape.
it's a cheap get on
Mhm.
Amazon anywhere, but man, it made a difference. We're gonna have to tape your.
Oh yeah,
foot.
Yeah.
I've never used it, so I can't wait. I'm gonna give you my foot, and you can tape it right up for
Oh,
me.
I'll tape your foot. Like, and it hadn't been bathed in like 4 days. So I'm all for it.
Three now. Come
3.
on.
All right.
It's only day 2 while we've been out here.
But yeah.
I would say the other one would be we all went to Ace Hardware. Most of us went to Ace Hardware and bought rubber gloves.
Oh
Man, like,
yeah.
rubber
That's
gloves.
a game changer.
Those rubber gloves. Gabe was talking about having a liner for them. Like if I'd have brought glove liners,
Yeah.
rubber gloves with glove
They're the
liners.
best you can get.
I mean,
gloves and liners.
It kicks it. The rubber gloves without liners have been kicking ass.
Yeah.
Like my hands have stayed dry. Tried to wear a pair of gloves the first day and they soaked right through.
Yeah.
Those rubber gloves at least keep your hands dry, which if you're moving a lot keeps them warm.
Yeah.
So,
But if
That's-
you do one of these later season, the liners with those gloves, that's
Yeah.
the best thing you can get.
But like right now, we're rocking into the mid 50s, right? During the day, it's been mid
40s, 50s, probably.
Yeah, I mean, we're the first week of October. It's going to gradually keep getting colder and colder in the evenings and the mornings until it's, when you wake up, it's going to be 30s,
Yeah.
low
And that-
30s.
Yeah.
And a very wet 30s. Like the
that's
humidity.
3 weeks away from that. So,
Really.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So-
There's a lot of people, sir. You were less than 3 weeks away from that.
Yeah. You. Listen, not us. Because we'll be out of here in a week. But, so Gabe, what advice would you give, like, for someone coming out or booking a hunt, like, for future hunts? Like, what would you tell them to look for, or what dates would you tell them to look for? Because we've seen ample critters. Like, I've been impressed with how much we've been seeing. And we're 2 days into this.
It's out of control. I only have one tag left.
I know, you're screwed. Like, you're going to be waiting for the right buck.
Yeah.
Are you going to wait for a cactus buck?
No, I don't care. I don't care about velvet.
Okay.
I'm just gonna try to find an absolute
Mongo?
cranker.
Yeah.
I'm looking for I got the world record halibut on this trip. I got the world record reindeer cow on this
Yeah.
trip. So all I need is a world record blacktail buck. Maybe a world record doe,
Yeah. But what advice would you give? What would you tell them to look for?
As far as timing,
Yeah, timing and
well, we do 2 separate types of transport hunts as far as dates.
okay.
We're on an early season. We've started these trips since the 1st of September. And we go south to the far south end of Kodiak because the hunting is excellent.
Yeah.
No matter what time you come down here, it's good. You just got to be able to get here. You
Yeah.
got to have the means to get here. As the rut comes on, of course, this is a great area too.
Yeah.
Just the weather, we can't get to this area.
Gotcha.
So we do the south end of a fog neck. It's hunting is good like
Yeah.
this, but it's cold.
Yeah.
So
It's
timing
cold.
at different locations. You can't go to the same place
Right.
and
Yeah.
do it. You just can't. You gotta move around that.
I will say this, it's been nice. Like, we have a lot of open country here. We have a lot of ways to access different areas. And so it doesn't feel like our views have been exactly the same
No.
every single time.
No, I mean there's a ton of country to hunt around here.
Yeah.
I mean, just you can't hunt. You could go to a different direction, a different spot every day.
Yeah.
That we're here and see different animals and different country for sure. You can't. I mean, you look and you're like, oh, I can get there. Well, it's going to take you a lot longer to get there than you think.
I know.
And
I'm telling you, it's exactly like Vegas. You can sit there and go, oh yeah, we only have to walk over there. And it says it's 0.5 miles away, but it takes you an hour to get there.
yeah,
Like, it's just the same, it's Vegas miles.
Well, if you're less mobile, if you're an older person or you're not as physically fit, the later season, south end of a fog neck, we're dropping you in on logging roads.
Okay.
So it's probably a better option for you. This isn't for people that have a prosthetic leg or
Right.
have other conditions that will hinder them.
Bad knees.
Yeah,
bad
you got
ankles.
bad knees. No,
This ain't
this
for you.
early season is not for you.
If you don't
You
have
have
bad
to
knees,
hike.
you're gonna have bad
You're-
knees by the time you're done packing out all that.
Yeah. Dude, that is, you're 100% right. 'Cause, I mean, I've gone down more times than I can count. Like, I mean, a lot. And I mean, hopefully we'll get it done later on. But well, we're gonna wrap this one up because we're going to have more stories to tell after this because we still got to get to your second blacktail. I want to hit that on the next one. So,
First blacktail,
well, your first blacktail, your second critter.
second
That's
critter.
what I meant.
Yeah.
So, but all right, gun talk hunters, you know the drill. Keep those muzzles pointed in a safe direction, and always be on the hunt.